This is Ruben Puentedura, and what I'd like to do for the next 5 minutes is introduce you to the context and origins of the new approach to professional development that we're calling the MLTI consultative model. Now, the story begins back in 1945 when Vannevar Bush authored a paper called As We May Think, which introduced the basis for everything that is modern computer technology today, including the web, hyperlinking, and the type of rich contextual use of tools that would then be actualized by the work of Doug Engelbart at his research center. And notice that what Doug Engelbart had in mind was augmenting human intellect. That's our task before us. And another key element in this task was the work done by Alan Kay. Alan Kay found that for this type of augmentation of intellect to take place in education, children needed a tool that was personal, a personal computer like the one that the MLTI has distributed. And Seymour Papert brought this to full realization in his work where he said, if you put this tool in the hands of a child, then they can reach new heights they never have before. They can become theorem makers and analyzers like true mathematicians. Now, this is based upon work in psychology, such as that of Lev Vygotsky, who found that the presence of a more knowledgeable other allows a child to reach heights of work that they couldn't have before, and the computer plays the role of that more knowledgeable other. It is also based upon the work of people such as Jerome Bruner, whose progression of child's development from enactive, play with ball, to iconic, sketch a ball, to symbolic, work with the word BALL, is reflected in how we work with computers, mouse to icons to symbols. In fact, Engelbart and Papert may have underestimated the computer's capacity to augment the human mind. In recent research, a human player who knew how to use a computer well could beat the best chess players, human or machine, anywhere in the world. We also see the results clearly in education. For instance, Kevin Crafts at Bristol Consolidated School has improved outcomes in his astronomy class by 1.5 times over what you could get by adding a tutor to the class, or 6.5 times over what you could get by reducing class size. This research is also baked into the models that we use to guide development in MLTI. Both the TPAC model and SAMR model reflect the earlier research and the idea of augmentation of human capabilities. So does the professional development model we use, and that's why we don't focus on individual applications, but rather look at lenses to help guide the use of the computer towards the most fruitful augmentation capabilities. And it's also reflected in the choice of tools. The range and diversity and integration of tools reflects the range, diversity, and integration identified by earlier research as being necessary to this augmentation. The new consultative model will integrate curricular development and assessment work with the professional development framework of MLTI in close partnership with the schools. What type of curricular development and assessment? In the context of curricular development, we'll be working along directions that show particular promise, such as the integration across and within domains of knowledge that can be facilitated by the tools on the laptop. We will also delve deeper into explorations of how and why we know things, such as this extended diagram for the scientific method, which goes far beyond what is usually covered or in fact usually possible with traditional tools. One last example, we will look at curricular development that integrates domains of practice and domains of theory, bridging the two of them and making them richer and more available to students than ever before. On the assessment front, we will look at tools that enable new forms of assessment for learning, such as Dr. Mazur's concept test, which has been shown to significantly improve student outcomes across the sciences. Where assessment of learning is concerned, we will develop new avenues of assessment jointly with the schools so that we are assessing higher order thinking skills rather than the lower order thinking skills tapped by traditional assessment. Finally, we will also work to introduce ways of measuring the effects of the introduction of the technology into school processes so that schools can know how, where, and when they're getting the best outcomes of their work. We're very excited about this new avenue. At this point, I will turn the stage over to the MLTI team, who will tell you more about the specifics of this. I look forward to working with you in the coming year. Goodbye.